Alright guys, today we've got a hard carry. This is going to be a really difficult game. Not just because it's ocean and we have a Worcester, but it's going to go right down to the wire. So really fun game that I had the other day. I was playing with Malta and Droko. And in fact, if you don't know, Maltese Night, he's on Twitch and on YouTube as well. He just started, so I'll leave a link down in the description. You should go check him out. He's very good at the game, and he's started doing commentaries as well. So if you want a perspective on destroyers and cruisers and that kind of thing, where I would say he more specializes in that, like how I specialize more towards battleships, go check him out. That's not to say that we're bad in battleships or our other classes, but I think he'll give you a unique insight on destroyers especially. So, now, with this game, it's tricky. Worcester on ocean, right? There's nowhere to hide. This is going to be a difficult game. So, the way you got to play this is very cautiously, especially at the beginning. Very cautiously. As you can see, they have 3 Vermonts and a Thunderer. So that means overmatch all over the place. And in fact, even Kurfürst can overmatch my sides. So we got to be really careful here. And that's why I'm not actually shooting. I got lit by the planes, which we have a midway to deal with in this game as well. So another bad sign. But we got lit by the planes, so we turned in to make sure that we dodge those first salvos. Because we know if we're a cruiser up this close, of course the battleships are going to want to shoot at us. So, and I didn't shoot at that DD because I wanted to go dark and get this turn out of the way. Because I knew I needed to turn away. Now, Smolensk is going to be shooting at my clever buddy, so I wanted to deter that. And by shooting and, you know, we can reasonably hit him at these ranges. It's hard because it's a small ship that's quite maneuverable, but you can hit him a little bit. And we're going to have to actually kill that guy later on in this game, and it's going to be kind of difficult. But we're just going to stop here and just try to help our team hopefully prevent this cap, or at least try to deal with them as they try to push in here. As you can see, we kind of have an AFK Montana. I think he just got back into the game or something like that, but it's not looking good from a positional perspective. The enemy team is far more pushed up towards the caps than we are, and it's going to be difficult. But you can see how passive I'm playing, right? I'm near the cap, but I'm not so close that I'm just going to be spotted all the time. And I'm trying to play this in a way to help my team if the destroyers get into a fight. That's really what I'm waiting for at this point. I'm not trying to go pick a fight. I'm trying to help if a fight breaks out, if that makes sense. Like I said in my Flint video the other day, as a cruiser, especially a light cruiser, you are way stronger late game than you are early game. And keeping yourself alive and retaining your HP till later game is huge for carrying and winning games. Now, I obviously want to shoot at a Smolensk because, I mean, it's such a strong ship that you just want to get it out of the way. But, you see, Gearing gets spotted, and we're here to punish it. We're here to get some pretty solid damage. And you can see, we're actually chunking him pretty good. I think I miss aim here these next couple salvos, so we don't actually end up killing him, which is unfortunate. But he's crippled enough that the CV, or if a DD runs into him, he should be a pretty easy one-shot. So, pretty good stuff there. I'm not the most practiced when it comes to aiming with the Worcester at long range on DDs at this point, so if I were a little bit more practiced, I'm sure I could have got that killed, but not the end of the world. We've done 21,000 damage, and most importantly, we're alive, and we've deterred the enemy team from capping A, which is a big deal, because it's more than likely we're going to lose C, just due to the numbers that the enemy team has up there. Fortunately, Malta is going up there with his Thunder to hopefully, well, I'm sure he's looking to farm out a few Vermonts with a Thunderer. So that's really good. And we're going to push back in because we can right now. We know where their Vermonts are. That's another reason I was playing passively, is you need to figure out where all the biggest threats to you are. We know that there's 2 DDs here, so it's important that my radar is here to help. We know where their Vermonts are and their big overmatch ships are, right? We have basically 1 to deal with down here. and maybe a Thunderer if he decides to shoot. It's highly unlikely that the Thunderers will pick me as a target from all the way across the map in like D10. So it's something to consider. If I was playing the Thunderer, or the Vermont, sorry, they're Vermonts in D10. If I was playing them, I would definitely be trying to shoot cross maps because I enjoy the challenge of that and catching people off guard, but it's unlike most people don't do that. And as you can see, Gearing basically one shot when he got into a fight again. So all that little bit of damage that we did really helps out. Now here you can see I waited just a few seconds to start shooting the Smolensk, just using the smoke screen to try and shoot while dark. It's all these little things, just chip damage here and there that's going to help you win games later on. It's not important to necessarily fully commit early game. But now that we know where the Shimakaze is, I am going to charge. You can see the Shima just got lit on the map in E7, E8-ish up at C, so we know there's no DD here to deal with. So essentially, I mean, it's a really rough situation because obviously pushing in a light cruiser into a Vermont and a Smolensk is probably not the brightest idea, but I think this play will help us win the game. You can see we're down on health at the moment, and we're soon to be down on caps. So it's pretty important that we shore up our flank. The biggest thing that happens in Ocean, because there's no islands, you have to make sure you don't get yourself boxed in a crossfire. If this Vermont is allowed to sit down here, our guys, and I just kite away up to the north where our guys are at like B4-ish, that just gives crossfires for days for the enemy team. So we don't want to do that. That's really, really bad. So that's why I'm making this push essentially alone. Fortunately, Smolensk is distracted a little bit by my teammates, so I'm going to start trying to punish him. Vermont is turned away, so I know I probably don't have to worry about his salvo for a little bit. And my goal is to kill the Smolensk first. Vermont, we have to worry about essentially once every 40 seconds. So it's not going to be the biggest deal to avoid his shots, at least at these ranges. Once we get a little closer, it's going to be trickier. And the CV's on us. So this is not looking great. This is not looking so good. Our Gearing is getting spotted and forced to smoke up. So fortunately we had defensive fire, so we don't have to deal with the torpedoes quite as much. He kind of rushed his drop, so we're kind of okay. Here comes the first Vermont shot. I did not dodge it very well, as you can see. Even a little bit of lag in the game. He chunks me pretty good. So now we know we got the Vermont's attention, and we've got the Smolensk's attention. I'm thinking, oh, I'll just radar this guy easily. Smolensk plays it incredibly intelligently. He just left his smoke right away, and he's using it to create distance. And we all know who would win a fight at close range between a Smolensk that does not have IFHE and a Worcester. If the Smolensk had IFHE, we'd probably win. But this guy doesn't. We know this because he's shot us before and not really dealt much damage. So I know I can be really aggressive. Again, I'm trying to use smoke screens to keep myself dark while I'm shooting. That's kind of my goal. We notice the Vermont is kind of slowed down. Or maybe he's just that slow to begin with. But we're getting closer to him. 14 kilometers, gotta watch out. I didn't do a great job of dodging here either. I kind of slowed down into it. We just kind of got lucky that he missed. But pushing into a Smolensk and a Vermont, I would not recommend doing this. But I think it was important to help our team in the north just focus on their push from the sea cap. I think this is a really important play that we made. It was also fun for me because it was really hard. In the moment, I was not, like, I was streaming this live, right? I was not talking to Twitch chat at all. I was hyper focused on this, and it was a lot of fun for me because it's hard, right? And a challenge, when you succeed, always feels so good. Here we can see the CVs come back, and now we've dealt with the Smolensk. This is huge. A cruiser one-on-one with a battleship is not difficult. The problem becomes when you have to worry about multiple targets at once. Dodging a single battleship salvo once every 30 to 40 seconds, not a big deal. I don't think. Sure, they'll hit you every once in a while if they guess what you're going to dodge with, and I'm also playing this really aggressively. I probably shouldn't be just full charging into a Vermont. The smarter play would probably be to go dark, turn towards the A cap, and just kind of kite him away or try and stay in the 15-kilometer range. I think that would make things a lot easier for me, but we're charging because we're in the mindset to charge at this point. So I kind of get like that. I just want to charge in and play the game. So pretty interesting engagement there. It's all about figuring out where the enemy team is and then making decisions based on that. We played incredibly passively at the start, and that enabled us to have the HP to do stuff like this, where, you know, we can take a hit or two from a Vermont. We got really lucky here with dispersion, by the way. he over-aimed a little bit, but the dispersion landed all around us. That could have easily gone differently. CV's here as well. It's rocket planes, but yeah, they do some damage, but at least we can heal it all back. And you see, here's the main thing that is an issue, I think. We're within 12 kilometers of this Vermont, and I'm not that scared of him. You know? Like, I just kind of nose in, and it's like, well, he's got to get really, really lucky in order to do any meaningful damage to me. And there it is. He does like 5,000 damage to me. And then I get another 40 seconds to farm him. You know, it's situations like these where I think maybe light cruisers are a little bit too good. And this is one of the reasons I think secondaries are a massive part of battleships and making a battleship good, because secondaries would be dealing some constant damage to this Worcester, assuming I was in the Vermont or whatever I was in. Maybe I was in an Ohio. It'd be dealing some reasonably consistent damage and forcing the Worcester player to reconsider being that close to a battleship. But as it is, spoiler alert for later, we farmed him out for like 90k damage there in that short amount of time. You know, I wish battleships were scarier as a battleship player and as a cruiser player. I'm just gonna fast forward this. Not really much happens here. It's basically to the end of the game. We end up chasing down the midway and ending up, I think we end up almost killing the Worcester too as well. But a huge game. Malta did amazing work up in the north, and he actually gets top score here. It's this was a really, really good game, I think. It was kind of funny though that the one game that I play in a Worcester is on ocean. Yeah, because I rarely play these kind of ships. I don't find the spammy playstyle to be that much fun, but every once in a while it's a good time, especially when we can make fun, difficult plays like that for ourselves. So, Worcester is a great ship, guys. If you don't have it, I can fully recommend getting it. It's very, very good. Just to talk a little bit about my captain build, I probably won't put a in-depth thing in the at the end of the video. I'll just end it after this game. But I do have IFHE, and my reasoning behind that is the fire chance is good enough with IFHE that for the most part I'm getting fires anyway. And once you have a fire in a certain location on a ship, any extra rounds that go into that spot have a 0% fire chance. And the main thing for me is I prefer consistent alpha damage over random dot damage. So that's why I continue to use IFHE on this ship. It allows the shells to pen 32 millimeters of armor. So you saw against the Vermont, I was aiming for his bow, and we were full penning there. I don't think we would have dealt that much damage to him had I not had IFHE. So for situations like that, it's pretty nice. Sure, sometimes there will be scenarios where you would have had more damage had you not taken IFHE and had the better fire chance, and you could rotate fires on like 3 different battleships. But I think that those situations are becoming more rare these days as battleship players play more passive. But Worcester is a really good ship, man. The DPM's nuts, and because it's a light cruiser, you also tend to take overpens a lot from battleships, like you saw. You kind of have to get unlucky, I think, to really take huge hits from a battleship, assuming you're paying attention and you know what you're doing. But yeah, I just had a lot of fun with this game, and I wanted to share it. I was feeling pretty good after playing this one. I felt like my actions had a direct impact on the outcome of the game. And in fact, I did not get top score here. It's actually Malta who got top score. And you guys are going to have to let me know if you've ever seen this before, okay? Have you ever seen two players get 3,000 base experience on the same team? This is the first time I've ever seen this, and I've played over 10,000 games. Crazy. I think that's crazy. So, awesome game. Make sure you guys go check out Malta. He's a really cool dude. And in fact, he actually just did a 24-hour live stream on Twitch. So, the man is dedicated to playing and producing content. Trust me. He's a great guy. So, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. And I hope you have a good day.